God known to each of us provide the strength and wisdom to perform the duties and fulfill the responsibilities required by our oath of office. May our actions be pleasing to God and meet the expectations of the citizens we serve. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll go ahead and call our meeting to order for Tuesday, October 3rd. Minutes are before council members from September 19th. What's your pleasure?
I'll move that we approve them as dispensed.
Second. Motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is public comment. Sandy Chapman, 615 McClung Avenue. You have the floor.
First of all, I want to say that I think the Fall Festival was a great success, and the city workers cannot be recognized enough for all the hard work they did. They were out late, they were up early, they were busy moving around and everything. I thought it was a fine thing, and it looked like it had a really good turnout. We came. One suggestion that I would make is that we used to have more music. We had music all day, and that drew a lot of people in. And I think there used to be a committee that did that, and I would like to see it go back to that, because we got tons of good local talent around here, Ultrasound, Duquesne, different bands like that. And so we could use and showcase some of the people that we have right here in the community, and keep some of our money here. The other thing is I'm asking people about the postcard or the letter thing. My daughter lives on one side of me, she didn't get it. The neighbor on the other side didn't get it. The neighbor 2 doors up didn't get it. So that's still not getting out. And I know a couple people over at the manor, they didn't get it. So we need to get that out a little bit better. And then I wanted to ask about one sign that I noticed was real bad when we had the Fall Festival. All the traffic is diverted around to McClung, and people were parking all the way to the corner on both sides of the road where the trucks can't get by, the buses can't get by. They were there, and there was a sign right there next door to me. I think the address there is 612 or 613. There was a sign there that says the speed limit, and then it says no parking 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. due to school. In the middle, there was one that said no parking between signs. That sign is about 3/4 of the way to the block, and then the other sign is at the corner. All the writing is just about worn off of that sign, so you can't read it until you're right on top of it. But I think that could help keep somebody from getting hit there, or some type of accident, or a school, a city bus not being able to get around the corner. And I just want to see if we can get that sign redone. Thank you. Thank everybody for all their hard work on the Fall Fest.
Thank you very much. Jacob Mitchell, 703 Water Street. You have the floor, sir.
Just to extend what she said, I didn't get to go to Fall Fest this year because she was sick and she was supposed to be in the parade, but I know the hard work it takes to do anything or in a small business. I think it's great that everyone did their best to make it good for everybody. The only thing that really concerned me about Fall Fest was some of the kids. I just have a coronary when I see kids running out in the street, trying to grab candy. That's why I always had her by the shirt, telling her not to run out in the street. I'll get it. But just to extend on what Sandy said, y'all been sending out postcards for about a month now, and not as many people are getting them. You said it was basically kind of doing a survey, and I understand that. One thing I forgot to point out the last time when I presented everything was that I'd spoken with the head of the senior center, and she said that attendance has kind of fallen off over the last 3 or 4 years. And now I understand COVID kind of turned some people into agoraphobics and drove them even further into the house. But one thing that newsletter brought, it gave the monthly schedule. So a lot of those people, because she does, don't get me wrong, she posted it online. I saw it on Facebook the other day. But the big thing that I had addressed earlier was most of these people either don't have a Facebook, don't know how to use Facebook, or don't like Facebook, and just wanna have it in their hands. Cause I can tell you right now, as a person, I have the attention spans or the memory of a goldfish sometimes, so if I have a physical copy of it, I can see it, I can feel it, I can smell it. And I think that's one thing that extends how important it is to bring it back. And then just really the other thing is that with this process, you have a lot on your plate. The newsletter is probably number 37 on the list of most important things to do. While it's really important to all of us, you have the water with updating the sewer systems, you have the paving down Farmdale, and you have all that coming up. So if you all need any help, and I'd offered to Rachel during Fall Fest to have a booth. If you need me to do anything, I'll be happy to do it, because I don't want anyone in this room for 5 seconds to think that I would try to do anything behind your back. I would try to sneak attack anybody. This is the village. My chances of getting away with that, even if I wanted to, was like trying to get away with anything in Mayberry. It's just not gonna happen. But I just want you to know that I'm willing to do it. The people in this room are willing to do it. So if you need any help with that, please let me know. I'll be happy to help. And try to be nice, because she said she wanted to speak this evening and she's kind of sweating bullets. So that's all.
Thank you for your comments. Jim Davis, 146 Wingate, you have the floor, sir.
Hi, good evening. Jim Davis, President of Wingate Condominiums. First of all, I'd like to thank the chief for all the great visibility of the police going through. We got a lot of old folks. We get worried pretty quick, and that helps put their mind at ease, and thank you. Mr. Mayor, here to follow up on a conversation y'all had with Coach Bobby Pruitt. We're a part of the city in just about every way, except for streets. So we would like to ask the village to consider incorporating our streets into the rest of it. We were originally set up private a long time ago when I first moved there, but I think we need to do it. So I'd like to bring that up and get a follow-up meeting with somebody.
Coach Pruitt and I actually talked, just so you know, we talked at the ballgame this past weekend. I'll be headed to Oregon tomorrow morning early, but when I get back, Coach and I were gonna try to get back together, and then we have a work session. Council was gonna have a work session this time. We'll have a work session before our next meeting. I have some talk to do with our city attorney about that very subject over the next couple of weeks, but I will get a hold of you when I return from back in town.
Awesome, because we have some questions too about all the legalese and all that stuff. Thank you.
Perfect.
Appreciate it.
I'll be glad to meet with you guys.
Thank you.
Yep, you bet. Cindy Mitchell, 703 Water Street. You have the floor, ma'am.
Okay, I've never really done this before, but I just wanted to say that thank you all for your hard work in this town, because it's like really nice to me, and me and my friends can do a bunch of stuff, and I'd like to thank like my teachers, and just you all have done a great job with a lot of the kid stuff and community, and that's all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you. We love having young people in the meeting. Thank you. It is certainly not easy getting up and standing up in front of a crowd and talking. I get that. But thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for speaking tonight. Okay, we will move on to old business. First item is to rescind action for the Farmdale Sidewalk Project. The required additional match voted on earlier, $38,718.24 from June 22nd, 2023. And will subsequently act on the new amount in the new business. So, as you guys know, cost of goods, services, and labor has gone up significantly, but this is a project the village has been working on for, well, quite some time. I'll just say that. It'll improve access out to the out to Route 60 where the crosswalk is, and we also will not have veterans and folks in the power chairs and people who are walking out to those venues out along Route 60. It'll be it's a much safer opportunity for them to get to where they need to go. Those that walk and those that are riding in those power chairs from in town. So I will entertain a motion to rescind the action from June 22nd, 2023.
So moved.
Motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The new business is consideration of the resolution approving the bid acceptance for the Farmdale Sidewalk Project. This bid was opened at the state, correct, Danny?
Yes.
And our only involvement is that we have agreed to provide the matching funds. And now our required additional match is $83,358.21, and I will entertain a motion to approve those funds. It is available. This does not put us in harm's way in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So I'll entertain a thank you. Motion and a second to approve the funds for the Farmdale Sidewalk Project. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Pardon, go ahead.
If I may,
Yeah.
is there a time frame that, once this bid is out, that, cause quite frankly, I can't imagine where there's a construction worker still available to start a new project.
Well, I know that the state was out doing, they did the walkthrough today, this morning. I saw them out doing the walkthrough. I'm not sure what the parameters are on the contract. Again, it's not our contract, it's the state's contract. All they're asking us for is the funds. Danny, did they give you any idea about what the time frame would
I'm
be?
sure there is a time limit, but I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, again, it's just an ask for funding from us, so.
Everywhere you go,
Right. There's a,
how long?
yeah, for sure. I will check I will get, Dave, we call Dave Kramer, right, and get a parameter on that?
Yes.
I'll have Danny or myself email it out to you.
I know we've been waiting on it.
Yeah, well, if you remember, we waited to get it started, and we waited to get it started again, so we're finally at the point to get it started. We'll check the contract though, and see what the time frame. But I'm sure within this contract, there are liquidated damages and all that stuff, which again, wouldn't affect us. The state would be the one collecting liquidated damages.
And is there a length of time once they do start, is 60
Yeah, that's
days,
what I'm saying. The contract should have an end date on it, and there will be an allowance for bad weather and catastrophic events and things like that.
Yeah.
But if they don't meet the deadline with the additional time for weather or whatever the circumstances would be that would delay them, then they would pay liquidated damages to the state.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we didn't have a full agenda tonight, so we are already at comments from council. I'm gonna start this evening. I'm gonna say, it is so hard to thank everyone who is involved in Fall Fest, and I'll echo, Sandy, what you said. Our workers are out from daylight to dark for that week. Our office workers, our staff in City Hall, everyone has some sort of role in this, in Fall Fest, and you know, there's always a blip on the radar, but our folks and our administration, and it just goes off without a hitch, because everybody just knows what to do, and we're quite lucky to have the people that work here and to participate and do all the things that happen during Fall Fest. I know that we all agree it's a special place, but we have a lot of special people working for us, and that are elected here in town. You have a bunch of people who care vehemently about this town, and it shows each and every day, from top to bottom, from the person who is calling vendors to the person who is staying out past midnight to make sure Barboursville looks like it looked on Monday before Fall Fest. You could not tell a thing happened here. I cannot express how proud I am of this town and the people who work here. So to those folks, I say thank you. Chief, I'll say too, I talked to Val at the mall this evening during the events going on up there. If you're not aware, there was a power pole fire. It had an effect on electrical systems all in and around the complex. They did do an evacuation out of an abundance of caution. No one was in danger. And thanks to your guys and the fire department too for keeping our folks safe and keeping order and in an orderly fashion up there and getting people out of that building, even though nobody was really in danger. It's nice to see when our folks and our patrons are taken care of. So please extend that to your guys. That's all I have. Rachel?
I will update the mailing address. Clearly it's not getting, the postcard's not getting to everybody. So I will get on that this week, because I just sent that over to Johnson's, is who we use to send out everything. So I don't know when the last time that was updated, but I will get with the water company to see who all in Barboursville get a water bill, and we will get the new mailing addresses to Johnson's, and we will send those out again to whoever did not get a postcard. So I will follow up with that this week. And the Fall Fest, it was my first one as an employee, and it was wonderful. It was a lot of work, but I enjoyed it. There was some hiccups, but I got through it, and but I couldn't have done it without all the employees. The city guys were amazing, and I can't thank them enough. The girls downstairs here worked so much with me and helped me with everything I needed help with, and I just couldn't have done it without everybody, so it was great, and I learned a lot, and I think next year will be even better, so I appreciate everybody that helped me get through my first year. And Paula helped me a lot too. Anytime I was like, what am I doing? I would text Paula and she would help me.
I just wanted to say the same thing. Our workers did a heck of a job. They were out early and they stayed late. The streets looked fantastic come Sunday morning. Couldn't even tell we had a parade. Jimmy, thank you for taking care of our trailer and pulling us this year again. We appreciate that. I don't know who we would got if we didn't have you, so thank you. Breakfast was over here with the Lions Club, was packed. They had a great turnout. The car show was fantastic. And I just think the police department did a heck of a job. They were around all over the place, and that just makes you feel better when you have security. And we had a lot of people and a lot of activity going on up and down the street. The Nancy Cartmel Gardens, I mean, it was packed. And the carnival, even though you had a lot of bad negative publicity on the Facebook about that, kids enjoyed it.
There was a lot of good.
They really
There was
had a
a lot of
good
good.
time.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for all taking care of that, and thank all the employees, Danny, for us, okay? That's all.
Yeah, the Fall Fest is just, it's amazing when you can stand back. I always haven't ridden on the trailer, but the last 2 years, because I was still around with my family. But I have never seen so many people in one spot in all my life. It's just, and then everything that was basically flawless. So the only complaints about the carnival was from the adults, it wasn't from the kids. The kids were on cloud nine. They really were. They loved that they didn't have to wait in line, and they weren't complaining about the rides. They were enjoying it. It was, again, Chief, you know, there's a lot going on that, to be in charge of that many people should something go wrong. And the fire department, the police department are always just, it's what keeps us together and pulls it off, keep us safe, and it's always amazing, and I just love living here. I mean, you think about Civil War days, the cars, the crafts, the carnival, the Lions Club, the food trucks, the parade, you know, there's a lot going on, and from Central Avenue to think that we can pull it off without anybody getting hurt and no accidents. So I'm proud to live here. Good job, Rachel. I'm proud of you for your first year. And thank you all for coming. We love your input and your positive comments and the questions of stuff that we sometimes haven't thought of before. So, you know, keep coming and keep encouraging us. So it gets a little boring when you sit here and we're just looking at everybody at these tables. So.
Well, I would like to say, last week, Fall Fest is probably the first one I've missed in probably, 40 years, you know, in Austin Matheson days. But I was out west getting my body worked on again, but everything's going good. But we all say, I know it's Fall Fest, it's Barboursville, it's a great little town, things go well. It's like I've been involved with it for 40 years of my life or more. But I would like to say thank everybody for coming. But there's one little thing. I'm a little bit newer. I drove home every time I go home. I drive home. Excuse me for that. But I see these like a lawn care place on telephone poles. I might be talking out of school. I don't know what the rule is on that, because sometimes you go, there's 4 signs belonging to the same lawn company, for example. I don't know if there's anything in the books, and you know, there's so many, and these numbers that I see, they're not West Virginia numbers, they're Ohio numbers, it looks like.
Yeah.
But I just thought I'd bring that up, I'd mention that. I don't know if there's anything.
Yeah, there is. When you see them, just shoot me a text and because I'm not sometimes out in the areas you're in, shoot me a text where it is.
Okay.
And actually, there is an ordinance that says there are not to be signs on poles.
Yeah, because sometimes when you pull up and there's 4 signs belonging to the same guy, I mean, I'm not being mean, but
No, I
sometimes it
understand.
gets to be, you know, whatever.
It's overload.
Yeah, there you go. I think I said, I thank you guys for coming and being here, but anything I can ever do to help anybody, I'm right here. But, so, thank you guys, and Patrick, you're up to bat.
I had a couple of seasonal talk questions. As far as the leaf truck, picking up the leaves with the back truck, when will that start, and what's the typical flow of that? When can they, is it any day they can do it?
These really don't start falling good till after a frost, but, that could happen next week, by the way. But we were talking about it today, and it'll be in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, but we'll be ready and up and running for that, okay. So is there a certain day, is it just any day they can put them on the curbside and we just drive around? Okay.
It's usually after the garbage is picked up.
And then salt situation, it's time to make sure we're ahead of the game. We usually are, just wanna bring that up and see.
I think we've got 200 tons we can get, so
We had someone.
we're okay.
We did, we
Yeah,
got
we did.
surplus.
We're in good shape.
Yeah.
Alright, and then I'll just echo everyone's comments. I mean, what is better than Fall Fest? I mean, I love it sitting there just watching the crowds and people. I mean, our city people here and people from outside coming together. I think our variety's great. I mean, we have from wrestling downtown in the middle of the day, you've got wrestling. Yeah, I mean, we've got a variety of options for people to see. The car show was full. Just a lot happening. Just everyone, all hands on deck. There's a presence from the police. I don't know if we have anybody that's off during that time. Is every man basically available, and as far as city employees go, I think it's everybody's hands are in the
Everybody that
process.
can and is available works, yeah.
Yeah, and there was some negative on social media, but that's social media. I think if you were in person, you saw
You had a great
it was a
time.
great time.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything negative. People were having a great time, enjoying themselves,
Sure.
and had a break from life, it seemed like.
Absolutely.
Just, that's all about.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, there's nothing that, I can say that, you guys haven't already said. I guess that's the bad part about being at the end of the table. But I'll just say thank you to everybody that had a hand in it. And like you said, it's hard to, pick one person or 10 persons or 20 that helped, because everybody had a hand in it. And thank you guys for all the hard work that you, put in every day, and the weather was perfect, and thank you guys for coming. It is nice to have a little crowd that we can talk to, and you guys can go out and spread the word, and maybe get more people in here next time. And you know, that's what democracy is all about, you know, seeing what's going on in here, and going out and being transparent, and that's what we want. But, not much, but still working on Haunted Trail, and would still be interested in any and all volunteers that'd like to come out. And it starts Friday, and that's all I got.
There is one other thing too that I forgot to mention. There's a new event in town. They're doing a haunted ghost walk the 2 weekends prior to Halloween, and there's a charity doing it and a radio station that's sponsoring it. But you can buy tickets at 1861, at book tenders, at Orbit's, at Main Street, and another place I'm forgetting somewhere. Anyway, you can also get them from CVB. There'll be tickets in at the CVB this week as well. But there are 6 or 7 sites that have haunted history to them. Some Jeanette Rousey's contributed, and a number of other residents have contributed to that. But it is a charity group that's doing it for I think the Huntington Cabell Wayne Trapper Society that traps the feral cats. So if you get a chance, check that out. Posters should be going out for that event this week as well. One other thing for the council member, 6:30 before the next meeting, we will have a work session so we can just discuss the fire department issues. And then in the meantime, I'll meet with Mark about the street request for Wayne. So that's all we have. Is there anything from department heads? Everybody good? Thanks everybody for coming, and we'll adjourn the meeting.